Shalom, Yasharala. Shalom. Please forgive me. I'm under the weather, so my voice don't sound right. Y'all see how early I'm getting up for work? It's 6:52 in the morning. Sun not even up yet. See if a cough drop will help me. I wanted to talk about standing out. A lot of brothers in Israel are doing the same exact thing, and I don't see a lot of brothers doing nothing different than the others. And we got to realize, the Lord is watching, and He watches what you do in your personal life. And if you're not doing nothing to stand out, you're just more of the same that we've had in Israel for 50 plus years. Then how do you expect to get salvation? And that's something that I wanted to discuss with y'all or tell y'all about. Because didn't the scripture say that unless your righteousness is more than that of the Pharisees, you're not going to be saved? So how are you going to be more righteous than the Pharisees? What can you do special that the Pharisees didn't do? That's something very important. How can you, because it's not the law. You still got to keep the law, but the law isn't what justifies you. It's not what's going to get you saved. The law is a minimum. What you have to do is you have to follow the example of Hamashiach Yahushua. He had compassion. He looked to save. Salak. He looked to save. He didn't look to destroy. His name wasn't Gabar, right? Not knocking any brother whose name is Gabar. It wasn't warrior. It wasn't Ratazak. It wasn't killer, right? Because that's what we all focused on is war and killing and we're gonna there's gonna be a huge mass death. No. It's we got to focus on the salvation part of it. Yo, I'm in a lot of pain right now. Shouldn't even be going to work. But yeah. Israel, we need to focus. We need to shift our focus. Not stop the same things that we've been doing, because that's the format. That's the way to do it. But the focus needs to shift on to what will make you different from all other Israelite camps. Not just camps, but individuals, because we're not going to be saved as camps. I hate to tell you, there's going to be a lot of people in them chariots that you've never seen before, that wasn't in your camp. And I'm just reading using the scriptures in the spirit. It's not going to be, Lord ain't saving camps. The Lord ain't saving a camp. Because you got a lot of wicked men in every camp. You got a lot of men in every camp that ain't right. So, what do we have to do to stand out? It's like with women, right? Remember one time I was talking to a female, she's like, I am her. That's some dumb shit that they tell themselves. I am her. You know? Like, she's like, basically like she's the shit. But then I look at her page and then I go throughout Facebook and I'm like, well, what are you doing different from all these other women? She looks good, but a lot of women look good on Facebook. So for us men in Israel, right, what are you going to do to be him? Or the women, what are you going to do to be her? Meaning, what are you going to do different? What's not being done in Israel? I'll tell you what my concept is and what I'm looking at. I look at things that brothers generally gloss over. This is what I think makes me stand out among Israelites. Not that I'm unique, not that I'm the only one, but this is one thing that I don't see enough of a focus on in this truth. I think that a lot of brothers they gloss over scriptures, talk about mercy, talk about forgiveness, talk about compassion. And those are what will make us more righteous than the Pharisees. Temperance, balance. You know, doesn't mean you love you're this is a love fest and you got to love everything and everybody. No, it doesn't mean that. But we have to be different. That 144,000 is going to be different in many ways. And I'm not saying by any means that I'm one of the 144th. I don't know. But to give myself a chance, I have to do something different. And like I said, what I kind of focus on with the scriptures is the things, because I noticed, like, I used to be, you know, all into the deep breakdowns and everything, and I still am into them. But one thing I realized, and this is why you see the subject matters changed in my teaching from when I was older to now when I'm young. Well, when I was younger to now when I'm older, is I realized there's 100,000 brothers out here. There's probably more than that go on YouTube breaking down complex things and all that, but there's not enough of a focus on living your life correctly. There's a focus on making you robots and making you follow a certain format or doing things a certain way that's not necessarily in the scriptures, right? But where's the things that brothers ignore? Something simple as let thy words be few. You know how many brothers out here talk a lot, like won't shut the fuck up, dominate conversations, you know, cut men off at camp. So my focus is on being different from that. Not because I'm better than anybody or I mean, yeah, I am trying to be better. Trying doesn't mean that I'm going to get there, but my standard and everybody's standard in this truth shouldn't be no man. It should be Yahushua. Doesn't mean any of us is going to be anywhere near the great man that he was, because it's not. We're not. Right? But that's my standard. If you come into baseball, no, fuck baseball. If you come into football, right, and your standard is, say, Micah Parsons, you want to be like Micah Parsons. There's a whole football player that was way better than Micah Parsons named Lawrence Taylor. So Micah Parsons' weaknesses are going to be your weaknesses. Everything that he does that doesn't help his game, that hurts him or hinders him, is going to hinder you. And you're never going to be greater than him. Now, Lawrence Taylor, if your standard was Lawrence Taylor, then you'd be like, oh shit, like that. Now I'm giving myself an opportunity to be the greatest ever to play the game. So what I'm saying in relation to Yahushua is, you know, you want to be like General Yohana, you want to be like Zabak. You know, you want to be like a lot of these men that are great men now. You know, I'm not taking anything away from Yohana. You know, he's a great speaker. You know, he started the school and he has a lot of power. But if I want to be like him, then that's my ceiling. That's as high as I'll go. If I want to be like Zabak, then Zabak is the ceiling. I can't go, you know, I can't possibly be more righteous than Zabak. And when you put that much emphasis on a man, you don't know. I hope and pray that these men are men of the Lord. But there's always a chance that, you know, you're sitting here patterning yourself after somebody who's not. So my ceiling, what I strive to be the most like, is Yahushua. I emulate Yahushua. I want to be a representative of Hamashiach Yahushua. Of course, we all say that, so that in and of itself doesn't make me stand out. So that means my actions have to be that of, it looks bright as hell out here, but it's the lights behind me, because trust me, it's dark still. Sun ain't up yet. It's creeping its way up. But that's the standard, right? And how you are, while the eyes of the Lord are upon the sinful kingdom, they're watching you and watching what you do. I try to do the right thing when nobody's watching. I try to do the right thing when ain't nobody, you know. Think about it. How many of you brothers be on the phone with somebody, a brother, and you do the salute and you don't take your hat off because they're not there to see it? I take my hat off. You know, how many of you sit down to eat a meal and nobody's around, no brothers are around, and you pray, you still pray over it? So that's something that you have to account for. Don't just be righteous in the sight of men. You know, be righteous as you live your life and when nobody's around. When nobody's there to see what you're doing. Because there is someone that's seeing what you're doing, and it's one of the eyes of the Lord. And you don't want to look like one of these wicked people in the eyes of the Lord. And when I say look like, doesn't mean literally look like, physique, whatever. You want to be You want whatever angel is recording your actions to see you as special. And this is kind of what the point of the video is. What are you doing special? When the angel that's writing down your actions goes back and talks to the other angels, are they going to be like, yeah, it's more the same? He does the same shit every other brother does. He ain't no different. So it's just very important to find a niche, find something that makes you special, different in the spirit world. Because I can tell you there's about a million Hebrew Israelite camps that are out here saying, oh yeah, we're gonna put you to death and we're gonna kill you and keep the law, statutes, and commandments, or you're gonna die, and and then the Lord's looking at all of them, filtering how many of them, because it says like the corn is sifted in the sieve. Right? So a sieve is like a filter. So what if the Lord is filtering out certain things that brothers do? Like, okay, now he hates his brother. Look at Matthew, the 5th chapter. It tells you the law is here. If you keep it from here, not just in your actions, but from within, what spirit can come up inside you to make you hate a brother to the point where you will murder him? Hating your brother. How many of you brothers out there hate each other? Right? What type of lustful spirit do you have to commit adultery with a woman in your heart without having to fuck her? These are questions that aren't for me to answer. I'm doing what I can to stand out as best as I can, because I'm not saying that I stand out. I'm saying I think, based on what I see out there, that I stand out. I think, because I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't think that was the case. And I think we have to find the niche. Every single one of us has to find what makes us not necessarily unique, but just stand out among Israelites. Because the angels that are watching us, like I said, you never know. They might have a place where they congregate at and compare notes and be like, yeah, this nigga here, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, he's more of the same. He's just out there cursing out the people. He's not really doing it out of love. He's doing it out of just wanting to get his rocks off. You want the angels to look at you as sincere, genuine, and these are angels that are watching you in your private life. You're being watched by the government too, but by angels that report back to the Lord what you doing in your private life. So if you don't take nothing else out of this, understand that there has to be some type of way for you to stand out. Because otherwise, you're not doing nothing different from what Israelites have been doing for the past 50 years. You literally have men that are not in the faith no more that did exactly the same thing you did. So with that, I'm going to say shalom. And last thing I want to say too, man, is you do this You should be doing this because you love your people. You know, you shouldn't be in this truth if you don't love your people, because you're not. All you're doing is being another wicked ass fucking Pharisee if you don't love your people. If you hate your people, you're out there with a vendetta. Oh, I got stood up for my prime, so I'm gonna take it out on black women. You know what I mean? Or Hispanic women. You know, don't take your frustrations now that you found something that's right, because you're gonna make this thing that's right wrong. You're gonna corrupt the faith, not literally the faith itself, but you're gonna taint the truth in the eyes of brothers out here if you do things that are harmful for harmful reasons because you've been harmed. But with that, I'm gonna say shalom.